Hey guys, episode 32 of the crypto portfolio series. Obviously, I'm a little bit lost for words this week. Another sort of crazy week. I thought last week was going to be it, and then we've had the Tesla news. Portfolios jumped up by £60,000. This is after taking a little bit off the table yesterday in some of the sort of more minor altcoins, but we'll come back to that shortly. So obviously the big news is Tesla have bought $1.5 billion of Bitcoin, and possibly more importantly, planning to accept it as payment for sort of all of their products. So yeah, they'll presumably convert it using sort of someone like BitPay. Apple have just announced that they're using BitPay on their Apple Pay service, and you'll be able to pay using Bitcoin. But yeah, this is sort of leading to potentially other companies following Tesla's suit and sort of allocating some of their reserves into Bitcoin. They said they are doing it sort of partly to maximize returns and diversify, so to not just have cash. But yeah, it's certainly making them more volatile. Obviously the Tesla share price sort of jumped on the day by a lot more than $1.5 billion. So it is sort of making them more volatile. Interesting point that after all the sort of Dogecoin shenanigans, Elon was sort of getting in on that, and it seems that they probably already bought this $1.5 billion in Bitcoin sort of before, probably long before the Dogecoin stuff started up. So kind of leading his followers sort of down the garden path, really. Sort of putting them onto another coin when he could have been tweeting Bitcoin. But there you go. So going to the portfolio this week, obviously everything's up pretty much. Altcoins outperforming Bitcoin overall, but that's to be expected in a big week. So Bitcoin up 22%. Obviously it's done well. Went up on Monday and has been sort of just consolidating around the sort of 34,000 range, sort of between 32 and 34. Just had a little bit of a pump this morning, first thing in the morning. So see what happens when the institutions open up tomorrow. Ethereum 10%, sort of dragging behind a little bit, but we'll see what happens shortly. I mean, they've had their Ethereum futures open now, so it's sort of more institutional opportunities to short it, and more sort of volatility in the very short term, but longer term it should lead to more stable price action as you get sort of hedge funds going long and shorting it, and just sort of more traditional positives and negatives rather than just retail buying, basically. But yeah, sort of in the short term it means you get a lot more volatility and potentially more downside. Obviously the pretty much to the day the Bitcoin futures came in the sort of end of 2017, basically marked the top at 20,000. So some people were a little bit more bearish on what this might lead to with Ethereum, but doesn't seem to have had an effect so far. Cardano doing well, outperforming 28%, 29% nearly. So doing quite well. Did get up to sort of 70p nearly. So it sort of trailed off a little bit. It was one of the first to go, really, of the altcoins. Litecoin, again, doing a lot better, 45% nearly. So this one was sort of dragging behind a little bit, sort of early to mid-January, sort of staying fairly quiet, and then it's really gone crazy in the last week. So that's doing quite well. And then from here on are the ones that I've mostly sold part of. Not too much, sort of about a fifth to a quarter of my position on each of them. So Stella, 40p, been doing quite well. Just wait for the chart there, but yeah, 43%. So took a little bit off yesterday morning. Obviously, you don't quite catch the top, but just wanted to lock in a little bit of profit. Obviously, it's been doing pretty well over the last sort of month or two. So yeah, just wanted to take a little bit of profit on that. So OMG, or Amise Go, as we used to call it, £5.24. I'd probably sold this a little bit early yesterday. It was about £4.50 or so. 51% up. Did sort of seem to make it, about £5, £5.50, £5.70, I think, yesterday. So went a little bit early on that, but sold 300. Just again, happy to lock in some profit. XRP, 40% up, sort of doing well recently. I think people are maybe expecting the SEC lawsuit to probably be settled out of court just with a relatively minor fine. So I think this is starting to come back to sort of where it should be. I think the decision is in a couple of weeks, about a week and a half. So may get a pump there if it's a minor sort of decision. Tron suddenly coming back into life, 64% up this week, nearly 65%. So doing pretty well. So I sold 15,000. I was sort of planning on selling 30, but just sort of staying a little bit bullish, really, just selling a little bit, sort of kind of expecting a bit more of a move. If we start getting more companies investing in Bitcoin, then I think the altcoins could have a real pump. So I'm just sort of keeping a little bit of powder dry, as they say. EOS, 72% up, outperforming. So this is another one that's been sort of fairly quiet over January. So nice to see this sort of starting to look good. So I had 1,232, so I just sold the 232. Take that down to an even 1,000. Dash, again, is I think it was the best performing one yesterday of the top 100. So 106% up on the week. Did go a lot higher in the last day, but again, probably went a bit early. I think I sold 5 at about £140, £150. Just take a little bit of profit, but again, you're not going to catch the top. Basic attention token, 56%. Again, another sort of slow mover through January that has suddenly sort of perked up and is now outperforming Ethereum and certainly Bitcoin. I mean, they're nearly all outperforming Bitcoin, but there you go. So I sold 2,500. And Power Ledger, 30%. So haven't sold any of this since last week. Just waiting for a little bit more action. And Dogecoin starting to trail off, 9% up. So it's underperforming Bitcoin, but obviously sort of on the month it just looks stupid still. Kind of waiting see if there's another little pump before getting rid of the last of this. Not one that I want to hold too much longer. So yeah, that's the portfolio for the week. A little bit crazy. So I think it was about £6,500 sold yesterday, so that'll go into the Trading 212 invest account probably in the next few days, and try and figure out what to spend it on. So yeah, leave your thoughts in the comments below, and drop a like, is always appreciated, and subscribe if you want to see more. See you soon.